The question of what happens when 0 is divided by 0 is a common point of curiosity and confusion. Many intuitively feel the answer should be 0, as placing 0 in the numerator of a fraction often yields 0. Others might suggest the answer is 1, drawing from the principle that any number divided by itself equals 1. However, the reality of 0 over 0 in mathematics is more nuanced, and its treatment is fundamental to maintaining a logical and consistent mathematical system. In this video, I will clarify why 0 divided by 0 is not assigned a simple numerical value like 0 or 1, but is instead considered indeterminate in arithmetic. To understand why dividing by 0, and particularly 0 divided by 0, poses a problem, one must first be clear about what division fundamentally represents. The most crucial understanding of division is its relationship with multiplication. Division is the inverse, or opposite, operation of multiplication. This means that if a division statement A by B equals C is true, then it must also be true that the quotient C multiplied by the divisor B equals the dividend A. That is, C times B equals A. Consider these simple examples. 10 divided by 2 equals 5 is true because 5 times 2 equals 10. Similarly, 12 divided by 4 equals 3 is true because 3 times 4 equals 12. This inverse relationship is not just a definition. It serves as a critical test for the validity of any division result. Any proposed answer to a division problem must satisfy this multiplication check. This linkage is precisely what reveals the difficulties associated with division by 0. Another intuitive way to conceptualize a divided by b is to ask, what number, the missing factor, must be multiplied by b to obtain a? For instance, to solve 20 divided by 4, one asks, 4 multiply by to what to get 20? The missing factor is 5, so 20 divided by 4 equals 5. This missing factor approach directly employs the inverse relationship with multiplication and is a powerful tool for analyzing division by 0. If no such single, unique factor can be found, the division operation faces a fundamental issue. Before tackling 0 divided by 0, it is instructive to examine the case of dividing a non-zero number by 0, such as 5 divided by 0. Let's attempt to calculate 5 divided by 0. Suppose there is an answer which can be denoted by question mark. According to the fundamental relationship between division and multiplication, this implies question mark times 0 equals 5. Now one must ask, is there any number which, when multiplied by 0, results in 5? The answer is a definitive no. A fundamental property of 0 is that any real number multiplied by 0 is 0. For example, 1 times 0 equals 0. Similarly, negative 100 times 0 equals 0. 0.5 times 0 equals 0. It is impossible for the product of any number and 0 to be a non-zero number like 5. This is a direct consequence of how multiplication involving 0 is defined. If this property, any number times 0 equals 0, were different, then division by 0 might behave differently. However, given this established property, a contradiction arises. If times 0 equals 5, and we also know times 0 equals 0, then it would imply 5 equals 0, which is false. Because there is no number that can satisfy the condition 0 over 5, mathematicians state that the operation 5 per 0, or any non-zero number divided by 0, is undefined. Undefined in this context means that the expression does not have a meaningful value within the system of real numbers. No such number exists. The operation itself is considered invalid because it leads to an unsolvable equation based on the established rules of arithmetic. Now let's come to our main point. Why 0 divided by 0 is so special. Having established that dividing a non-zero number by 0 is undefined, let's turn to the unique case of 0 divided by 0. We will call the supposed answer x. So, 0 divided by 0 equals x. Using the inverse relationship with multiplication, this statement implies x times 0 equals 0. Now the critical question is, what number when multiplied by 0 results in 0? Consider these possibilities. If x equals 1, then 1 times 0 equals 0. This works. If x equals 2, then 2 times 0 equals 0. This also works. If x equals 0, then 0 times 0 equals 0. This works too. If x equals negative 157, then negative 157 times 0 equals 0. This works. In fact, any real number multiplied by 0 gives 0. This is a starkly different situation from 5 divided by 0. In that case, there was no number that could satisfy the multiplication check. For 0 divided by 0, it appears that every number satisfies the multiplication check x times 0 equals 0. The issue with 0 over 0 is not a lack of a possible answer, but an overabundance of them. If 0 divided by 0 could be 1, and it could also be 2, and it could also be 0, then which one is the answer? For an operation like division to be useful and well-defined in arithmetic, it is expected to produce a single, unique result for a given pair of inputs. For example, 10 divided by 2 is always 5. It cannot simultaneously be 5 and, say, 7. If 0 divided by 0 could be any number, it would lose its predictive power and utility as a defined operation. This ambiguity, stemming from infinitely many potential solutions to the multiplication check, is the core reason 0 divided by 0 is treated specially. To avoid such devastating contradictions, mathematics refrains from assigning any single numerical value to 0 divided by 0 in standard arithmetic. This refusal is not an admission of ignorance, but a necessary measure to preserve the consistency and integrity of the number system. One thing more I want to mention is the terms undefined and indeterminate are often used in discussions about division by 0, and it's important to distinguish them, especially concerning 0 divided by 0. As discussed previously, an expression like 5 divided by 0, a non-zero number divided by 0, is termed undefined. This means there is no value in the number system that can be the answer. The multiplication check x times 0 equals 5 has no solution. For the expression 0 divided by 0, the situation is different. The multiplication check x times 0 equals 0 has not 0 solutions, but infinitely many solutions. Because no single unique answer can be determined from this check in arithmetic, 0 divided by 0 is referred to as indeterminate. An indeterminate quantity is one for which a value exists in principle. Any number would satisfy the multiplication check, but it cannot be precisely or uniquely determined without further context. I hope you have a better understanding about this topic now. Thank you for watching.